right, up next, we have the founders of Funkytown Brewery, Rich Bloomfield, Greg Williams, and Zach Day. All right, your clicker's here. Just please mind your timer.
Hello again, my name is Rich, and these are my brothers, Greg and Zach. We are the owners of Funkytown Brewery, the newest, freshest, funkiest black-owned brewery in Chicago. So why the name Funkytown? Growing up, we always used the phrase, keep it funky, with me, meaning be truthful and keep it authentic in communication. The word funky itself is a synonym for groovy, dope, cool, fire, lit, all positive descriptors. And everyone knows the addictive, feel-good song, Funkytown, across generations and race. The feel, the vibe, the meaning of the word has a positive, fun connotation, which is our brand starting point. Town represents the community that ties it all together. Our first logo, we never really liked it, didn't fall in love with it, but it represents that raw, do-it-yourself nature of homebrewing. So we use that design on our homebrew bottles and started getting our name out there into the community we want to target. Once we had the opportunity to go pro, we contracted the services of Creative Juice, a black woman, millennial-owned creative agency in Atlanta, Georgia. We want to be intentional with diversity and inclusion when looking for partners to assist in executing our strategy and creating a real story that the community can believe in. In 2020, we joined Chaos Brew Club. This enabled us to integrate ourselves in the Chicago homebrewing community and scale up our batches so that we could provide more samples for feedback. We were also able to network with local breweries to gain insight into the profession and gain understanding of the brewing process on the professional equipment.
Shout out to Isbuzz Brewing.
We use homebrew as an opportunity to gather feedback from black people, women, and other minorities to see what smells and tastes they thought were palatable. The feedback we were able to gather from these underserved groups drives our approach for brewing and branding. This also served as promotion for our brand launch. On October 2nd, 2021, Funkytown Brewery launched with 2 beers, provided jerk chicken appetizers, gave away branded bags, glassware, t-shirts, magnets, stickers, and information postcards. We had over 200 people attend this event, with over 85% being from the black and brown community. This was our first opportunity to validate our proof of concept and show that black and brown people, women, and minorities will congregate around beer if the message resonates and they see themselves in the product.
These beers were specifically designed, created, and homebrewed to meet the needs of the first-time craft beer drinker. On one end, we're offering an entirely different world to the people within our culture, and on the other, we're offering an entirely different culture in the beer world. In the last 60 days of launch, we've released 4 beers in the market, with each gradually getting darker in color and introducing them to new beer styles with low bitterness and low astringency. All of our beers are brewed starting at 5.5%, making it so you can enjoy more than one. We used a variety of different references for label designs, including our love for hip-hop on our Hip Hop's an R&B Brew, our woo-wop the bam, a phrase only used in Chicago to skip unnecessary details during conversation. Cuffing season, a multicultural term used for temporary relationships in the cold winter months from October to February, right? Finally, our newest release, New Year, Who Dis, is dedicated to everyone with dreams of knocking those New Year resolutions out the park. All of our cans have small write-ups on the back to let the drinker know what we're about and what we stand for. These different styles enable us to have a competitive price point that doesn't turn someone away, but provides every entry point for clients and beer consumers.
Our partnership with Pilot Projects enables us to focus on branding, marketing, and sales. We reach out to the underserved community for feedback on our beer styles. We have hosted pop-up tasting events, collaborated with black local craft beer influencers to assist with educating entry-level beer drinkers and maintain those long-lasting relationships through consistent interaction. We target retailers in underserved areas to alleviate the
Please grab your mic. Excellent work. Let's see what the judges think, if they have any questions for you, comments. Veronica, let's start with you, actually. I'm sure you've seen a lot of startup breweries come to market, and we saw one that's a strategy that's outlined for Funkytown. What do you think about their foundation, their process for building this, getting this off the ground?
I mean, my favorite thing is that you're customer focused, right? So right from the get-go, you were getting feedback from your customers and bringing them into your plan. I'm super curious, like, were there surprises as to like, oh, I think we should be brewing this, but then my customers said, led me in a different direction. Were there any surprises with that interaction that you had?
Well, that's what the home brewing sampling project was for, like to get that feedback from folks. So the stuff that they might not have liked, some of the stuff that they did, maybe the flavors that they did, but overall, everyone is basically saying like, yeah, we love this. I know somebody who doesn't drink beer that would drink this. So the purpose of it was to get somebody who's entry level, or maybe even pass it on to somebody who hasn't even drinking beer before, to come in and welcome themselves to Funkytown. So yeah, through the home brewing sampling campaign, we were able to do that launch. When we scaled up, it just blew up from there.
Yeah, I want to add that through the home brewing campaign and hitting these underserved markets, one of the main pieces of feedback we got is that IPA was almost like a bad word. So we focused on like more palatable styles, so like, they don't have that hesitancy with our beers. So that's kind of how we approach it.
Very cool.
Interesting. Laura?
Yeah, guys, there's a reason why you're standing up here. First and foremost, the quality of the beer is really good. I really enjoyed it. The packaging, fantastic. Love your personality. I can feel it, see it in the product. I just want to know your aspirations. Is it a brew house? Is it Chicago? Are you going to take on the world? I mean, what do you want to do with this beer?
Yeah, we have big aspirations, but I think just following the stories of other breweries around the country, we first need to focus on home and make sure we build a relationship with Chicago so that if we expand in the market, we have somewhere we can retract if anything happens. We want to have a brew pub, a nice design space where we can have events there and just create different experiences for people that drink the Funkytown beer. As we're contracting now, we work with different pop-ups, different organizations to just create a different experience with our beer at the center for these different communities.
Yeah, we've definitely reached out to different genders, races, ethnicities, and just had events just to experience the Funkytown beer, and everyone loved it. So we're just going to consistently target those markets, appreciate, the craft beer enthusiasts as well. Like, they're going to appreciate our product as well. But at the same time, just make sure we focus on home, the underserved communities, and just, pretty much have our beer in those deserts and, in Black Chicago.
Malika, you heard the 2-minute pitch yesterday, the 4-minute pitch today. Anything that you didn't hear that you wanted to ask the guys about in terms of their strategy and go-to-market strategy?
Well, I think that song is going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the day. I'm Chicago-based, so I'd love to come say hi. But one question for you. I loved the comment you made about bringing a different perspective to the beer industry and bringing new drinkers and introducing them to beer. I love that give and take. And your focus on retailers in underserved areas. Curious how much of a sell it has to be when you talk to those retailers if they're not seeing beer and craft beer flying off their shelves. What's your pitch to them for why they should keep your product?
Well, our pitch to them is, we actually focus on that community slide to kind of show them like the groundswell of support that we've gotten. We're all from the area, so we're able to kind of craft a local story that they believe. We can talk about the velocity, how each barrel that we have brewed since we've launched has sold out, has pushed to market within 1 week. But, honestly, if we're going to these craft beer deserts, it's going to take some time and some conditioning, and that's kind of what we're here for. We might not get them on the first try, but second and third, let's go. Consistent, we'll get them.
We're pretty much out of time, so I just want to make sure that Ryan gets his comments in. Ryan, from a funding standpoint, what are some of the things that really interested you? What are some of the things that may give you pause?
Yeah, 2 comments from me. First of all, I love the local focus. Beer historically is a local product for decades and decades, so the more you can dig in deep in Chicago, I think is the best for you, it's best for the brand, best for the community. And I think secondly, the one thing I would challenge you with is your packaging is fantastic. I think your challenge will be to find a way to make the packaging still pop, but also have a cohesive sort of look, so when it's on the shelf, everyone knows it's Funkytown right away.
Outstanding. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We've got to move on. But thank you so much. Well done. Well done. Take your microphone.
Thank you.